Greetings, Doc. Greetings, fellow viewers. We are Group 9. We are going to talk about leadership style, powers, types of powers in an education system which a school principal can use, and as well as we talk about centralized and decentralized decision making in an educational institution. So we're going to do this in a chronological manner. So we're going to start first with leadership style. And we cannot talk about leadership style without defining some relevant concepts such as what leadership. Leadership is the ability of a school principal to influence students, teachers as well as parents towards the achievement of what educational goals. Secondly, we'll talk about leadership style. These are the different models, different methods, or different approaches which a school principal uses in order to influence a situation. Now let's dive to our different models or different leadership styles. We talk about first, we talk about a transformational leadership style. In a transformational leadership style, we talk about a leader who revitalizes an organization. We'll talk about revitalizing an organization means to transform the entire organization. So as a school principal, you have to be transformational. You should not focus only on the negative part or the positive side of the organization. You should be able to do what? Transform the entire organization so that they will do what? All the people should work towards the achievement of what? Organizational goal. As transformational leader rightly said, he said what? Walk to walk it and talk to talk it. It simply means that as a school principal, you don't only talk, you do what? You show by example. You are a role model. So through your role model and through working an example, it does what? It revitalizes the entire organization. Secondly, we're going to talk about shared leadership style. In this shared leadership style in our educational system, we realize that most of our educational system, we see that power is not only focused, there is shared responsibility. From principal, vice principal, discipline master, as well as staff and other teachers, you realize that there is what? Share of responsibility. So we'll talk about share leadership style. We'll talk about what? There is a semi-autonomy in an educational institution where responsibility and powers is being shared. Just like I have already stated an example, which we talk about what? We talk about the powers from principal. If the principal is not there, the vice will act. If the vice is not there, we have the head of department will act. And if it is not there, the discipline master. That's what we talk about shared leadership style. Now we're going to talk about laissez-faire. When we talk about laissez-faire, it is the opposite of autocratic leadership style, where here the school principal does what? Delegate tasks to his subordinate, that is his teachers, without doing what? Supervising or giving them direction or even giving them guidelines, because he does what? He believes that what? They have the quality and their competency enough to handle that task without him supervising them. That's what we talk about laissez-faire leadership style. And we're going to talk about democratic leadership style. Here, we'll talk about a school principal listening to the opinions of his subordinate. As a school principal using a democratic leadership style, you should be able to do what? To take opinions from your teachers. That is why mostly in an educational institution, a democratic leadership style can see as staff. You see here teachers going for staff meeting, they are going to do what? They are going to talk their opinions, they are going to share their opinions in order to do what? For them to come out with one of the best opinions in order to use. Now we're going to talk about the autocratic leadership style. Yeah, this leadership style talks about what? Talks about a school leader or a school principal who does what? Who tells the school, he does not take any decision, he does not take any advice or opinions from his subordinate. He takes it. He's someone who is seen as autocratic, and this type of leadership style is mostly found in the military camp. Now, understanding the different leadership style, I would say that as a school principal, you cannot be a principal without understanding the different ways, the different styles in order to solve. Because as a school principal, you have to understand that there are different types of situations that will arise. And you understanding the different models and different styles, you will know which best will suit in order to solve a particular situation. For instance, if a problem arises where you have to do what? You have to motivate your employees. You're not going to use a transformational leadership style. You're going to do what? Use a transactional. In a case where you realize that an organization, 90% is positive and negative, you realize what? You have to use what? A transformational leadership style. And when you see where in an educational institution where you see power is being distributed from the principal, vice, and head of department and stuff like that, you have to understand that what is happening in that educational institution talks about what? Shared leadership style. And we'll talk about laissez-faire. For instance, if you are a leader and you go in an educational institution and you realize that what? You realize that your teachers have that competency, yeah? They have that belief in themselves and they can do it. what do? You have to use laissez-faire because you know what? You believe in their capability and you are doing what? You are innovating their creativity. You believe in their creativity. So yeah, laissez-faire leadership style is used in order to do what? To promote their creativity. That's to delegate their tasks without giving them any supervision or guidelines. Now, this is why it is very important as a school principal to understand the different.
Thank you. I will be talking about power. What is power? Power is the ability for a school leader to influence the teachers and the students towards the achievement of school organizational goals and objectives. Now, there are different types of power, but due to time, I'm going to talk about the following types of power. We have the legitimate power. This power comes from a legal formal position given to a leader. We move next to another power known as reference power. It is based on the personality or the characteristics or charisma of a leader. We move to another type of power known as expert power. It is being driven by the leader, knowledge, skills, and perspective in the satisfaction of jobs domain. Now we move to another type of power known as reward power. It is the ability to provide positive reinforcement or reward to a leader. Next, we're going to move to another type of power known as coercive power. This type of power is being given to a leader through punishment or fear. Thank you.
Thanks, viewers. Here I'll be talking about how the principals can use the various powers to apply them in schools. Okay, I will start with the legitimate power. The principal uses the legitimate power to clearly communicate the rules and regulations and policies of the school to the various members of the school. You have the reward power. The reward power can be used by the principal to reward students and staff for their for their job well done in the school. You have the coercive power. The coercive power is used by the principal to maintain safety, order, and discipline in the school environment. You have the reference power. The reference power can be used by the school principal to establish a positive relationship between staff and students in the educational institution. We have also the expert power. Here, the principal uses the expert power to encourage professional development and also to improve on staff development and also help staff to be updated on better teaching methods in the school environment. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, the lecturers. I will be talking about centralization versus decentralization decision making in schools. Firstly, I'll define what centralization is all about. Centralization is the process by which decision making authorities and powers are being concentrated to top officials in the schools. Now, what is decentralization? Decentralization is the process by which decision making authorities and powers are being shared to different stakeholders in the school. For example, in the University of Boya, there is decentralization because powers have been shared from the vice chancellor to the deans, and from the deans to the HODs, and from the HODs to lecturers, and from lecturers to the student union government, which facilitates the operation and the smooth operation of the school. All right, now I'll leave the floor for my colleagues to come and talk about benefits and challenges of centralization and also benefits and challenges of decentralization. Thank you.
About the benefits and challenges of decentralized decision making in the school. Firstly, it increased stakeholders' participation. Decentralized decision making allows for greater involvement and participation of the various stakeholders like teachers, parents, and students. And by involving all these stakeholders in the decision making, it promotes a sense of ownership, engagement, and shared responsibility within the school. Secondly, diverse perspectives and ideas. Decentralized decision making encourages the inclusion of diverse perspectives and ideas in the decision making process. And by involving all these stakeholders with different background, experience, and expertise, it fosters a well comprehensive approach in the decision-making process. Thirdly, flexibility and responsiveness. Decentralized decision-making allows for greater flexibility of responsiveness to local needs and circumstances in the school. Now we move to the challenges of decentralized decision making in school. One is slow decision making because the school principal have to seek the opinion of other stakeholders to arrive at a point as far as decision making is concerned. Secondly, it is inefficient because of diverse ideas from the different stakeholders with different experiences and expertise. Thirdly, it could also lead to conflict. Why? Because of the different stakeholders who are involved in the decision-making process. Each and everyone will want their points, ideas, or views to be used as far as decision-making is concerned in the school. Thank you. I'll end here for my colleague to continue with the advantages and disadvantages of decentralized decision-making in a school.
Now I will be talking on the advantages and disadvantages of centralization in educational systems. Centralization in schools can offer several advantages that contribute to the effective management and functioning of educational institutions. These advantages include streamlined decision making. Here, they ensure that decisions are implemented consistently across the educational institution. That is avoiding confusion and conflicting policies. Moving forward to the next advantage, we are looking at uniformity in curriculum. Here, students within the school system receive same quality of education regardless of their location. Thirdly, resource allocation. Centralized schools have better control over resource allocation. Moving to the next advantage under centralized educational system, we have strategic planning. Here, centralization enables long-term planning for the entire educational institution. While centralization in schools offers several advantages, it is also it also has disadvantages in the school system. So we'll be looking at disadvantages of centralization in educational systems. Looking at the first point here, we have lack of local autonomy. What we mean by lack of local autonomy is centralization limits the decision-making power in individual schools and their ability to address unique local needs. Secondly, distance and communication challenges in the centralized educational system is also a challenge. That is, in large centralized systems, there can be a physical distance between the central administration and the individual schools. And lastly, we have loss of local identity and culture in the centralized educational system. Here, centralization can sometimes lead to a loss of local identity and cultural diversity within schools. Thank you.